What's up, guys? This is Blau, and you're watching thatDROP.com. It's a great, timely question because I just came from a college party yesterday in San Antonio, Texas. I played Trinity University, and it was 500 kids. It reminded me very much of like how I started, and the transition was kind of crazy. It's happened over like almost a 5-6 year period. I started when I was 19. I'm 25 now. Most people don't know I've been around for that long, but yeah, it's you know, the college parties still have a soft spot in my heart because those kids rage like insanely hard because it's their first time partying. They're all freshmen or sophomores in college. They've never like gone crazy with alcohol or anything before, and the energy in those crowds is insane. Of course, when you take that to a festival, it's also equally as incredible because a lot of those same kids that are coming from colleges to festivals maybe Imagine is their first festival, maybe EDC is their first festival. So you kind of get that young crowd. Usually, those young crowds have the most energy. I think, you know, it's interesting because I get bored with making the same thing over and over again. And there are a lot of songs that like fans will ask me for all the time that never even came out. Like there are records that sound just like How You Love Me. There are records that sound just like The Night, you know, all my other old stuff. That I never released just because I thought they were too similar, and I think a lot of artists do that. They like to release a lot of similar sounds because it's their style. I just get bored, and I don't want to do the same thing twice. And so, Is It Love took me almost a year and a half to make. It was a really long process, like figuring out how I wanted to go about that sound without like stealing from all those other artists, you know, all those deeper house artist sounds. Like I didn't want to take from them, so I wanted to find something that was truly my own, and I feel like I did that with Is It Love. And of course, you know, more recently I had a 7 Lines remix come out that was in a similar style, and then I had this Ariana Grande remix come out, which is kind of like, in my opinion, the peak for me in that style. Like I finally figured it out to the point where I dialed the production in just right, and this Ariana remix is probably my favorite thing that I've ever made. That just came out last week. So yeah, I just get bored with one thing and I like to change it up. By chance, actually, that was the instrumental was actually my next original record, and the vocal didn't work out, and so I heard Ariana on the radio, and I hit up her label because we're actually close. Like her Republic and I are really good friends, and I was like, guys, like I think I have the best remix for this song. They were like, sure. I sent them the idea because the song was already done, right? So I just literally plopped the vocal into the project. I was like, this is incredible, it works perfectly. I barely had to touch it. Same key, just to speed it up a little bit. I sent it back to the label, and Ariana approved it within 24 hours.
Nice.
Now it has 1 million plays in a week. So
yeah,
it's
congrats.
really, really exciting. Just to see how the internet's definitely blowing it up, and it's cool because it all happened organically. You know, it's not like no one hit me up to do it,
right.
And I didn't have to beg anybody to do it. It just kind of happened. So. For me, it's never 5 hours.
Well,
but
quickly.
the idea always happens in 5 hours. I think like, you know, the best ideas happen quickly, no matter what. Like when I write a musical idea, it doesn't take a long time to develop a musical idea. It just takes a long time to finish the production. Mainly because I'm traveling a lot and I'm constantly moving and I'm not home in the studio working. But I think like, you know, sometimes the catchiest things are often the most simple, and the stuff that works on the main stage is often the most simple, and so those ideas happen pretty quickly.
Nice.
Sometimes the most complicated ideas that take long periods of time, like I'd say the new Porter Madeon collab is like insanely detailed and like perfect to me as an artist. I know like I could hear the time they spent to the record.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it just depends, you know. Bloom is something I've always wanted to do, and a lot of people told me I couldn't do it because it didn't make sense, like legally, politically, and we worked around it, and we figured out how to set it up in such a way that every dollar that the fan spends, minus like, it's like 15%, something really small, all of it goes to charity, and it's just really exciting because we've raised almost $80,000 so far. It hasn't been deposited into the charity account yet, just because there's a delay in how the money flows, but once it is, it's going to be super exciting to tell the fans. We're kind of waiting right now, waiting for the money to come in, and so we can make that like big like $80,000 deposit, and when the fans see that, they're gonna be like, whoa, that happened just from us like listening to your song.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna do some really interesting things to the business, especially like when people like you report about it. It's gonna be like, how does that work?
Yeah.
You know, when $80,000 can be raised from just listening to a song, it's pretty incredible, right? And I'm just excited for the next releases, and I'm excited for that first donation to be made so that the fans can see like what Bloom is really about. But until then, trying to stay quiet about it. Want to make sure all the legals set up, and this is a really exciting time. Education has always had a soft spot in my heart to me because to me it's kind of the root cause of lots of other global misfortune, whether it's a political issue or an issue of war, an issue of hunger, an issue of poverty, clean water, whatever it is. More educated populations can overcome those things. So education has always been, access to education at least, has always been like a root cause of a lot of the other problems that exist in developing countries, and so I'd rather kind of tackle philanthropy at the base than trying to cure a lot of different symptoms. And so to me, like, education is the most effective way to get back, and that's why I've always kind of been a big proponent of Pence's Promise, because they do such an incredible job.
Cool.
And my goal though with Blue in the future is once we hit our first goal, I kind of want to leave it up to the fans to pick what the next charity is. So we raised $100,000 for Pence's Promise, and I'd love for the fans to pick where the next $100,000 goes.
Nice.
And that's kind of because it's about the collective community in the label, and we haven't really driven that home yet because it's still so new, but I think by the end of this year, fans will start to see a lot of what the mission of the label is. That's a really good question. My friend Justin Caruso, very, very newcomer. He did a remix of Is It Love. He's done a lot of really, really cool remixes, but he hasn't come out with an original. His first original is likely to be my collaboration with him, and it's probably one of my favorite songs that I've ever worked on. So he's gonna kill it. Still very new, but lots to come for him. I would say a lot of the other guys that are on tour with me this year, even like Sunburn, who played the festival, not so up and coming, but dude's music is incredible. He's got a long way to go. Like, so many more people are going to hear him, and so many more people are going to love his music. I'm trying to think of some other guys. Cheat Codes, who had that like really big sex song. Obviously, they're really talented. They just sent me a bunch of new music that I was like super crazy about. And I was like, wow, like these guys aren't just like a one-trick pony. They've got a lot of cool stuff to come too. I would just say I'm super stoked to be here in Atlanta for Imagine. I'm going to play tons of new music. I got a lot of new music to come, so keep your eye out for it, and I can't wait for you to hear it.